They say that jazz was born in the melting pot of New Orleans, where African rhythms met European harmonies. But what if I told you that its seeds were also sown in the heart of the Middle East, a region often defined by its ancient traditions, vast deserts, and the haunting melodies of the oud, a musical instrument that predates Islam? Jazz, it seems, found fertile ground here too, growing in unexpected corners and echoing through hidden histories. So let's embark on a journey through time and music. Let's start our story in Cairo, Egypt in the 1930s. It's a city that was becoming a cosmopolitan hub, a place where the scent of cardamom and cumin mingled with the aroma of freshly baked baguettes from French cabarets. Here, in this heady mix of cultures, jazz began to take root. The Nile flowed like a life stream, carrying with it the melodies of the West that had traveled all the way from New Orleans. But how did these tunes traverse continents and time zones to land on the banks of the Nile? Well, it all started with the oud, that ancient instrument which had accompanied Bedouin nomads across the desert sands for centuries. But now, in the smoky, dimly lit halls of Cairo's cabarets, it was being reimagined. Musicians were experimenting, adding percussive taps and strumming chords that had echoes of bluesy bends and improvisational flourishes. Notes that were traveling along ancient trade routes, now reinterpreted in a distinctly Egyptian light. This wasn't just music. It was a conversation across oceans, a dialogue between cultures. It was jazz finding its voice in the belly of the East, but the conversation wasn't one-sided. As we listen to these early recordings, we hear the call of the muezzin from the minarets, the bustling energy of the souk, and the gentle sway of traditional Arabic songs. All of this was part of the rich tapestry that musicians wove into their compositions. They weren't just playing jazz, they were making it their own. In the 1940s, Egyptian radio stations began broadcasting this new sound, a blend of Eastern and Western influences that was both familiar and exotic. And so, the music traveled beyond Cairo, reaching the ears of those who had never heard of New Orleans or the Mississippi Delta in Alexandria, Port Said, and even the far reaches of the desert oases. People gathered around their radios, mesmerized by these unprecedented sounds. Some saw it as a threat, an unwelcome intrusion into a world of tradition. But others, particularly the youth, embraced it as a symbol of freedom, a chance to break away from convention. Then came World War II, a global conflict that reshaped not just the course of history, but also the very essence of music. Downtown Cairo became a melting pot of cultures, a place where the lives of soldiers from distant lands intersected with those of locals. The war brought an influx of Americans to the city, and with them, a taste of the sounds they left behind. For many soldiers stationed in Cairo, it was a welcome distraction from the harsh realities of war. In the dimly lit jazz clubs, they could dance without fear, laugh without reservation, and escape to a world where the only bullets were the ones on the vinyl records. For the Egyptians, it was a different kind of liberation. Young Egyptians, many of whom had been educated in Western music, were thrilled to see this side of American culture. It was as if the war had inadvertently opened a window to a world they had only dreamed of. They had studied jazz theory in the hushed confines of their classrooms, but now they were hearing it played live, breathing, pulsating with a life of its own. For them, it wasn't just about the music. It was about the message it conveyed, a message of individual expression, a celebration of improvisation, and a testament to the power of collective creativity. Among them was a young woman named Kulthum, whose mellifluous voice would later become synonymous with Arabic music. She was captivated by the genre, seeing in it a reflection of her own struggles and aspirations. Back then, she likely sat transfixed in some smoky jazz club, listening to the improvised tales of joy and sorrow, love and loss. Each note resonated with her, each chord progression echoing the complexities of her own reality. She realized that in jazz there was a space for her, a place where she could express the full range of human emotions without fear of judgment. It was a revelation that would shape her career and leave an indelible mark on Arabic music. Let's not forget the men who were instrumental in shaping this scene. The musicians who dared to blend genres, break boundaries, and redefine what music could be. Men like Yusef Takriri, the king of Arabic jazz, whose mastery of the oud was unparalleled. He didn't just play the oud, he breathed life into it, coaxing from it sounds that were both familiar and revolutionary. His improvisations were legendary, each piece a unique exploration of melody and harmony, a celebration of the genre's improvisational spirit. Then there was Muhammad Mauner, the pioneer of Egyptian rock, who fused traditional Arabic music with Western rock and roll, creating a sound that was both innovative and controversial. And how can we forget the late great Saba, the Lebanese singer who was dubbed the Star of the East? Her powerful vocals and captivating stage presence made her a force to be reckoned with. She sang everything from traditional Arabic songs to jazz standards, always infusing them with her unique style and panache. And as the decades passed, the music continued to evolve, reflecting the changing times, incorporating new instruments, new sounds, and new stories. Musicians like Marcel Khalif, the virtuoso on the Lebanese oud, kept the tradition alive while experimenting with modern sounds, pushing the boundaries of the genre while honoring its rich heritage. But as the music scene flourished, the region's turbulent history cast a long shadow. As political tensions flared and conflicts arose, the vibrant jazz scene was often caught in the crossfire. Governments wary of Western influences imposed restrictions, curbing the freedom of expression that jazz embodied. Censors kept a watchful eye on lyrics, and musicians had to tread carefully, finding ways to convey their messages within the bounds of what was permissible. Despite the challenges, the music endured. Musicians continued to find creative outlets, using metaphors, double entendres, and subtle wordplay to convey their thoughts and feelings. They became storytellers, weaving tales of love, loss, hope, and rebellion into their songs. In Lebanon, a country often referred to as the Switzerland of the Middle East for its neutrality, jazz found fertile ground. Beirut, the capital, became a haven for musicians, a place where the French legacy of café culture blended seamlessly with the Arabic love for song and dance. The legendary Casino du Liban, perched on the Mediterranean coast, hosted international jazz festivals that drew in crowds from all over the region. The cool sea breeze mingling with the sultry saxophone melodies created an atmosphere that was both relaxing and exhilarating. As the sun set over the horizon, painting the Beirut skyline in hues of orange and purple, the casino came alive with music. The air buzzed with excitement as people from different walks of life came together to celebrate the universal language of jazz. There was a sense of community, a feeling of shared experience that transcended political and cultural boundaries. It was a reminder that despite the conflicts and divisions that plagued the region, there was still room for harmony, for coming together, and for celebrating the beauty of life through music. But the story doesn't end here. No. It continues to echo through the bustling streets of Istanbul, the ancient city straddling Europe and Asia. In the heart of Turkey, jazz found another passionate audience. Musicians like the legendary Sabri, whose smooth vocals and masterful command of the stage had audiences spellbound, kept the jazz flame burning. Their music was a blend of Eastern and Western influences, a reflection of the country's rich cultural heritage and its openness to international sounds. It was as if the very walls of Istanbul, with their echoes of Byzantine and Ottoman grandeur, resonated with the spirit of jazz. And then there's the Red Sea, a body of water that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, trade routes, and dreams. Its waves have carried the whispers of ancient winds and the murmurs of civilizations long gone. Now it carries the rhythm of jazz, the pulsating beat that echoes from the shores of Jordan to the sands of Saudi Arabia. From Amman to Jeddah, the music travels, adapting, evolving, yet always true to its core. Each city adds its own flavor, its own story to the melody, making the jazz unique to the place while staying true to its global essence. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of this genre, its ability to transcend borders, cultures, and generations. So as we navigate the winding alleys of Old Jaffa or stroll along the Corniche of Jeddah, let the soundtrack of the Red Sea carry us along. Listen closely and you'll hear the echoes of New Orleans, the heartbeat of Africa, the soul of the Middle East, and the endless possibilities of the future. Because the story of jazz in the Middle East isn't just about the music. It's about the people, the culture, and the spirit of a region that refuses to be confined by expectations, that embraces change, that dances to the rhythm of life. It's a story that's still being written, a composition that continues to evolve with every note, every chord, and every improvisation. Just as the desert blooms after a rare rainfall, so does the music of the Middle East, vibrant, resilient, and full of life.